people get the right mindset to make money flow to them?
I hit, as I say, I hit the ground hard, and then I needed to get up. And of course, when you hit something, the only way is up. Personally, I don't believe in comfort zones. The only comfort zone, if we were born naturally, was in our mother's belly.
You have no plans to change anything. Having that buffer in your life of that little bit of money that's set aside.
Do not do anything. We shouldn't do anything in a heat of a moment. Anything we do needs to come from the place of peace.
Welcome, I'm Tracy Irwin and I'm passionate about financial independence and wanted to share stories of inspiring entrepreneurs to prove it's possible. Everyone can strive towards financial freedom. Today, I'm talking to Lolita Reid. She's a business coach who helps soul-led women to get clear on what they really want and build a business that feels right without the overwhelm or pretending to be somebody they're not. Welcome, Lolita. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you, Tracy, for having me. It's always a pleasure to be in your presence.
Thank you. So just to kick us off, obviously you don't have an English accent like I do, but I also know you're not in your home country either. So can you tell everybody about your story, please, about how you ended up where you are?
Oh, yeah, my goodness. Originally, I'm from Lithuania, Tracy. So I'm Lithuanian, and it's a small country, getting smaller for some reason because of this, um, global traveling
Yep.
opportunities. So I was born in Lithuania. So I am on this earth now, 50, will be 51 year in August. I think so. Yeah, sometimes I even forget.
Me too, I forget.
But anyway, and I always, when I was born and a bit of history of my country. When I was born, actually, my country, Lithuania, belonged to the Soviet Union. It
Okay.
was a republic that belonged to Soviet Union. So of course, the cultural and political climate was a bit tense. But
Yeah.
of course, as a child, I didn't notice that much. Maybe later, and eventually we became independent as a country. So now Lithuania is an independent country. However, from the very young age, I was sort of feeling that there has to be more to life. There has to be more something, and I couldn't figure out then, but I just had this feeling, and of course, books and teachers. I had very good teachers, especially Lithuanian language and literature teacher. She gave me all these books that actually at that time probably was not very allowed to share, but she
Nice
shared those with me. Yeah, as you do. And so I always knew that I am not going to live in my country forever. I mean, I always thought that I will travel. And I didn't travel that much, but the first country I migrated from Lithuania was I no was actually the UK. The
Okay.
UK. Yes,
Brilliant.
I met my first husband at my best friend's wedding, and then he moved to England,
Yeah.
London, and then he said, would you like to join? And I was like, I was always adventurous, like I had this adventure in me. I don't know, maybe through these books. And I said, yeah, why not? And we were not even together at the time, but well, I see how some,
Yeah,
and I
definitely
said, yeah,
adventure.
yeah, why not? And I just packed my stuff. I was a college graduate at that time, worked in some with some company, and I just said, give my notice, and I said, I'm leaving, and everybody, we had party and all this, as you do. So I moved to England, to London, and then we became a couple with my first husband, and yeah, so the UK was my first country.
Nice. Didn't know that.
Then we had to come back to Lithuania because my then husband's mother was dying
Yeah.
with cancer, and at that time we already had our daughter, the only child we only had, and so we wanted to show the child or grandchild to his mother, and so I went first, and I made it. and I showed the child, and then she died a couple of days later. And my husband didn't make it. Actually, she died, and this is, very. Sometimes I think, synchronicity or whatever it is. She actually died the same time he was landing.
Wow.
It was like, whew, she waited until he touched the ground, and
Yeah.
then she's
Yeah. Oh,
gone.
that's a shame.
So yes, and then after that we moved to Ireland,
Yeah.
Republic of Ireland. So in Ireland I finished my master's degree, actually my bachelor's as well, and my master's degree in the Queen's University of Belfast, because we were living in the Republic, but it was like about 76 miles
Okay.
from
Yeah.
Belfast. So yeah, and then yeah, everything was good, and I was like pillar of the community, as they say. you know.
Lovely English saying there, Lolita.
And, like I was like, heavily involved with the community development work. I was actually even working with early school leavers and teaching them how to be employable, the business lessons, how to start business if they want. A couple of them actually did from my group. But anyway, but then, when everything goes well and you think that this is, life, but still missing, there was something missing in there, then life hits again. And then one day, uh, my first husband, which, we are great friends now, but then he came back and he said, we need to talk. And I was like, okay, like, don't we talk? What is this? And so we sat down. I remember in this kitchen, we had this quite big kitchen with the island in the middle, and we sit there. And he said, I, I would like to leave. Not, he didn't say I would like to leave. He said, I'm leaving.
Okay.
And I said, where are you leaving? You're going back to Lithuania. So he was Lithuanian as well. And he said, no, I just cannot be, I not can be the husband you wish, or whatever, that the
Yeah,
BS basically.
that conversation.
That conversation, and so he said that he has another woman, and then basically that's it, he left. So
Mhm.
the pillar of the community, and I love this story. It's like, it's quite funny now, because the first thing was not just, oh, he doesn't love me or whatever, but the first thought, you see how egoistic I was. I was thinking, oh my God, the pillar of the community, and he does that to me. But
We can be really defensive sometimes, though. It's like that's personal. It was like, it's hard not to take things personally. And like, yes, obviously,
I definitely
like,
did.
why? How can you do that to me?
How could he do that to me? And obviously he did. And I was no spiritual uh, spiritual awaken at that time or whatever. So purely egoistic. I didn't think about him. And I just thought, yeah, well, okay, he's my number one enemy now from now on. So it was a bit hard at the beginning, but that experience, Tracy, and it took me about a month. I had good friends, and I had good employer at that time. They all supported me, and all is good. But it took me a month to realize that this is probably even not about me or him. And I do remember me thinking one evening that, he deserves to be happy as well. Whatever version of happiness he imagines, and if he's not happy with us, then definitely, I will be not happy with him as well. So I let him go energetically. I
Yeah.
didn't know about energetics or anything at that time, but I just now, when I reflect. So I let him go, and slowly but surely we became friends, because of course we have a child, and we needed to make her experience less painful,
Yeah.
less
I'm really
traumatic.
good friends with Elaine's dad as well. So we were both children when we had Elaine. I was 19, he was 21. And looking back now as a 50-year-old woman, I was a child having a child. But, and at that time when we couldn't make it work, we really did, like, I want to say hate, but that's a really strong word, isn't it? I don't think we hated each other. We just couldn't connect at all as the young adults that we were. But now, like, we're good friends. It's so much easier to have that kind of relationship with your children's like father, mother. It's just it's healthier for you, for them, and for the child, isn't it? So
And for everyone,
everyone.
because like everybody in this unity. He had parents, or a mother was, and the father was not there anymore, but he had sister brothers. I had my family, and so our this disagreement, this divorce was affecting everyone.
Yes.
So it's for everybody's sake that as an adults, we need to find a way to be at least somehow human in that sense, and do not, as you said, the hate is very strong word, but yeah, do not hate each other to whatever level. So yeah, that was that. And then of course, so I hit, as I say, I hit the ground hard, and then I needed to get up. And of course, when you hit something, the only way is up,
Okay.
because you cannot go lower than you than that foundation. So, well, look, my friends, they were definitely good support. Oh, you need to go out, and I didn't want to go out. I tried to go out, to pubs and all this, but that was not my thing. So at that time there was this app called something like Tinder, today's Tinder or
Yeah.
Match.com, but it was on Facebook, Talkface or whatever. So one of my friends said, look, you have to go there. You on Facebook, so go there. So I went there, and I met my second husband on FaceTalk or whatever it was called. and
It's
and
not embarrassing anymore. All the youth do it now. It's kind of like I think back then it's kind of a little bit like it was a bit of a taboo subject to go, oh, I met my partner online. Now, not it's not anymore. So
more at that time, yes, you
it's a
say,
bit a trend,
it
Lolita.
was, yeah, it was a bit, yeah, nobody was doing things, or they were, but
They were,
they
but they didn't openly say it. Yeah.
were not saying. So anyway, I met him, and he was in Norway, uh,
Okay.
working in Norway. So we got, we had this long range relationships. He was coming to Ireland. I was going to Norway, but then we just decided to, we made a decision. At that time, as I was already working more online, even using Skype, but still online. I don't know even that Skype existed. I don't think Skype exists anymore. They closed it. Anyway, yeah. So, and then I decided to made a decision to move to Norway. So when I moved to Norway, I joined his company where he was working, and I was in charge of procedures, business development, and qualities.
Okay.
So I worked with him. So we were 24/7 together. Oh my God, never imagined that in my life. But it worked. It worked actually, because somehow we could separate work from personal life
Yeah.
at that time. And then eventually that also didn't feel like my place, and I handled my resignation and fully went self-employed, or whatever it's called, being solopreneur. And I was always doing a bit of business coaching, but after I resigned, I went fully into being
So how long
self.
have you been self-employed for?
Well, so now fully self-employed, I am 2 years now.
Excellent. Congratulations. You do know that only like 45% of businesses last past 2 years, don't you? So
Yeah, I know. I know
congratulations.
statistics, but yeah, statistics. Yeah, these numbers. Yeah, numbers are very important. And I look at these numbers, and I still think, I'm quite happy, or lucky, whatever. But it's maybe not about luck. It's about discipline, which I lately I lack discipline, to be honest. And I don't know what's wrong. Maybe it's in the air, something. But anyway, it will come back to me. But that this discipline helped me to stay.
Are you working harder than ever? but feeling like you're getting nowhere. You're not alone. Most business owners I speak to feel trapped in their own success, working 60 hours plus a week, missing family time, and honestly, they're not even sure why they feel so stuck. They just know something needs to change. If this sounds familiar, I've created a quick quiz to help you find out why you feel stuck in your business. It takes only 2 minutes and I give you clarity on exactly what's keeping you trapped and, more importantly, how to break free. The link's in the description, so why not take it now? Yeah, it's a flow. I think sometimes we are more productive than other times. Sometimes like money flows too. We feel more like, we have more money than we do at other times. And I think that's natural. And like you said in your story that you sent to me, that your financial independence is a journey for you, but you're still on right now. But how does it feel to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and actually have something that's yours, and that you know it's your own journey, rather than like blaming other people for things that happen to you?
Yeah, absolutely. You see, this is the thing. This is what I learned from my first husband, and that the whole situation with this divorce. Somehow I was guided to this community that they live by the principles of the passion test. And the
Okay.
main principle in the passion test is you are responsible for everything in your life. So at the time when I heard that, I said, look, FO, that's not true. How can I be responsible for things? But when I continue, experience things, I totally then agreed with that statement, that everything happens to us, for us, whatever, even around us, is we are 100% responsible for everything. So that helped me to shift from being a victim, because I definitely was a victim then, into this more being a creator of my own reality. Because if I'm responsible, then I need to do something without it. And I cannot blame anyone. Not, some people blame parents. Maybe I blamed my parents at some point in life as well, and I probably did. And I did, not probably, I did. But when this realization came to me that I am responsible, then there is no other way just to be responsible and do something with that. So this is what helped me. And the financial independence, as I said in answering one of your questions before, I am still on this journey, because I have these numbers in my head and I am not there yet.
Yeah.
But when I walk this journey, the independence, I create this independence every day in small moments. For example, after this interview, I will go for a swim in the nearby lake.
Nice.
That's independence for me.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Then my daughter, she's off today, so we will probably cook together. Well, she will cook and I just will watch, because I'm not a good cook. So that's the independence for me. The things like that, small things, walking my dogs whenever they need to go, not whenever I can walk them.
Yep. Have that
Um,
too.
so it's, of course, it's about numbers, but these numbers have many factors around them, and these are the factors for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think the financial independence gives you the freedom to live the life that you want to have, rather than, it's not chasing that big massive number, is it? It's more about creating something that keeps us happy, that keeps us our heart full. And it's not always about, trying to get £1 million. It's about creating something that is sustainable for us. Um, just knowing what you do for people, how much do you think part of it is mindset, and how much do you think is drive?
Yeah, well, it again, everything is interconnected, Tracy.
Okay.
when I start working with my clients, I always say, we will connect your soul, your mind, and your business. Not body as soul, mind, body, but soul, mind, business.
Yeah.
Because I do believe, and I don't know where this come from. Maybe at some of the trainings that I attended or somewhere, but I have this notion, this inner knowing that our soul, we all have souls, and some people don't believe. My husband, actually, he doesn't believe he has a soul, and it's not easy for him, but I'm working on that. We all have soul, and our souls have a mission, one ultimate mission. And when we come to every experience, for example, now in this experience, in this earthy experience, as I say, we have a different assignment that fits that ultimate mission. So it's not just mindset, it's we need to reconnect with that ultimate mission and acknowledge that. And maybe it's not always clear what that mission is. But when we work on our mindset and clear these negative beliefs, and I know it's, when we say negative programming, sometimes it sounds already like cliche, but for example, even today I was sitting and I thinking about preparing, talking to you, like having this interview, and just thought came to me, but Lolita, you always try too hard. And then I thought, okay, where this thought come? And this is mindset. This is nothing to do with soul. It's mindset thing. And then I just, and like in a dream, everything
Yeah.
just came, and I got this realization that all my life I was watching my mother, and she always say, oh, I have to try harder. I have to try harder. And I bought into that. And I noticed that many times I say to myself, oh, I need to try harder. I need to try harder. Or I'm trying hard, and I need to try harder. And that's just a BS, in a sense that is actually jeopardizing my business, my being, because I always want to try harder. So that means I cannot be successful unless I will try harder and harder. And how much harder can I try? So this is mindset. So it's just an example, and some people have different of course, thoughts that I call them dominant thoughts, like I'm not enough. Very common, but proven that exist. I'm not enough. I'm a loser. All these thoughts, and sometimes even when I, just I mentioned that I'm not a good cook. I shouldn't say that as well. I just don't want to cook. But that doesn't mean I am bad cook. I just don't want to cook.
I don't. So in our house, Gerard does all the cooking.
Yeah,
It's not because I'm going to say he is a better cook than me. I was going to say it's not because he's a better cook than me. It's because he enjoys it more. He gets more fulfillment out of cooking. To me, it's a task. To him, it's a joy. So we made an arrangement quite early on in our relationship. And it was because every time I cooked, he would be over my shoulder saying, well, have you done this? And have you done that? And I'm like, look, I'm not enjoying this experience already. Why don't you just take over? And
exactly.
finding that like happy place. I do all the washing up and I like clean up and everything. So it's kind of like we have our own little rules which are perfect for us. But yeah, I sometimes going back to what you said about I'm not a good cook. I find that sometimes you wouldn't say that to somebody else out loud. You wouldn't say it because it would hurt their feelings. But we say those kind of things to ourselves all the time. And I sometimes think that's what holds us back. It's our self-talk, the things that we say to ourselves. And I mean, I'm not an expert on this at all, but what I try to say to myself is, would I say that to somebody else? Would I stop
Exactly.
myself saying that because that would hurt their feelings? Because if the answer is yes, why am
Yeah,
I saying it to myself?
exactly. This, I call it inner critic, and we all have it. And sometimes it's okay to have that inner critic, because, then there is a balance. If you need to hear that inner critic, but we need to hear that inner critic, and I do that very consciously. And when I hear that inner critic, I say, okay, is it true? Like, I continue conversation. Is it true? No, it's not true. Because but the thing is, with our mind, if we start looking for evidence that I am a loser, I'm telling you, you will find many evidence. Because it's like our mind is like a Google. It's a Google machine. I tried this. I went on Google a while ago, and I put just one question: what is it? Like, insane question, because I didn't ask anything particular. Google gave me thousands of pages of answer. What is it? Okay, so our mind operates that way, creates story immediately, and usually it creates negative story. So if I'm a loser, it gives pages, thousands of pages to support the statement that I'm a loser. So then consciously I look at it and say, I'm a winner, and it takes a bit longer for Google to give thousands of pages to prove that I'm a winner, but eventually it does. It's a work in progress.
So when people are struggling for money to come to them because of the flow of things, do you believe affirmations help? Do you feel that like how do people get the right mindset to make money flow to them?
Yes, you see, again, everything is interconnected. You cannot do one thing, cannot do another one. It's just we need to get into this mindset, or understand one thing, that everything in universe, everything in life is connected. So affirmations alone will not work.
Okay.
If I will create an affirmation, I am a millionaire, and I will repeat that every day, but somewhere inside me, and not somewhere, actually, very, very clearly, I don't believe it. Like, I don't believe I'm a millionaire. So what is the point? There is no point even repeating those affirmations or having affirmations if you do not believe. And to believe I'm a millionaire, we need to be a bit realistic. This is where I think challenges arise, because we create unrealistic affirmations. We don't believe in them, and then our mind just gives evidence that you are not a millionaire. You are not a millionaire, and it's true. I'm not a millionaire.
No, so what you're saying is actually behind every affirmation, we need goals, plans, targets, plans.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You need the pragmatic stuff behind the mindset stuff to be able to make it work.
Exactly. We need a structure. Okay. We need to structure like if you look at human body, and I'm not a doctor, but when I think about human body, I get that from the doctor's office, these figures that
yes.
sounds like this. And you mean, yeah, like in some sort of circle. When you look at that image, it is very structured. And if you go beyond the image, you see that every organ in our body has the precise function. Heart doesn't go and do mind thing. Also, it has some neurons in there, but we are not going into that. But every organ has a function, a purpose, meaning we are very structured beings. So from within to outside, we need to bring that structure. Nobody will benefit if we will sit here, we will say, I'm a millionaire. I know this is maybe not the best example, but I'm a millionaire. And if you don't believe, if your inner structure says opposite, you don't believe it, says opposite, you will not become a millionaire. And if you will not take action, so you don't have a plan, you don't have a strategy, how are you going to become a millionaire?
Your business is successful, so why do you feel so miserable? Here's the thing, success doesn't always automatically equal freedom. I see profitable business owners every day who can't take a holiday, who can't switch off, and they feel completely overwhelmed by their own achievements. Sound familiar? Well, I've created a simple quiz that pinpoints exactly why you feel stuck in your business. It will give you the clarity you need to move from being trapped to being free. Why don't you take the quiz now?
the links in the description below.
That's really interesting because just by starting the Money Metrics Academy, I've had people pay to come into the Money Metrics Academy so that I can help them to structure the foundation, and they've done nothing. And I find that really hard. I know we're all busy, by the way, but coming in and out is understandable. But to actually have done nothing, they've paid me money to be part of something. And that mindset is hard for me to understand, in that, like, it's not just going to come to us. That's like saying, it's like an affirmation, but like, here's some cash. Now
Yeah.
this is going to happen to me. And life doesn't work like that, does it? And it's so, like, I don't understand why people do that. I do understand life gets busy, by the way, because I've done it myself. I've done a course, I've paid for a course, I've started, and then I'm really good at the beginning, and then after that I can go in and out when I have time. But I never just leave, because if I'm like, I've paid for something, I want to make the most of it.
No, exactly, exactly. Do you think it's down to discipline as well? Um, because we humans, we need to have a discipline. And I know people, some of the schools, they say, the good things happen outside the comfort zone. I personally, I don't believe in comfort zones, because I think, the only comfort zone, if we were born naturally, was in our mother's belly.
Okay.
That's the only comfort zone. And then life started to happen.
Yeah.
And it's good. But the thing is that we came in this experience to evolve. And evolve is a process. And any process requires discipline. You see, and I'm not talking about pushing, and stressing about things, but we need to take small steps, disciplined steps, intentional steps, so we can move from point A to point B, then from point B to point C.
Yeah.
No, this is a journey, and it requires taking action. I know I always talk about strategy of least resistance, but when I say that, I mean when we get up in the morning. I see already banging some. When we get up in the morning, even to go to, we don't think that we need to go to use the bathroom, but we need to take the step. If
Yeah.
we will not take, we will not leave bed. What are we going to piss in bed? Sorry, that's a bad example,
No,
but
that's fine. We
you know,
definitely, it's an automatic response, isn't it?
yeah, but it's automatic, but still requires take that
It's
step,
that action.
take that action. And this is what happens, and I noticed that as well, and I did myself many times. Yeah, I pay for the course, and then very busy, but I always try to finish, because as you said, I paid money, I invested,
Yeah.
and I need to honor that. I need to honor the person who created the course and I pay the money for. It's just energetic exchange as well, and then I need to honor myself. This is I think what the majority of us do, or make a mistake. We don't look at money as an energy, but we need to honor that energy as well. We if we spend that energy somewhere, we need to get something in return, and we shut the door because we don't take action. So we shut door, we spend money, and spend money is gone, and we don't get them back because we shut the door, because we don't take any action, we don't take the step. But this is exchange. If I paid you, I'm buying your energy, and but I'm shutting the door because I do nothing with your energy, with your service, with your product.
Okay.
And then flow, as I say, the flow is cut, and no wonder we don't have money.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah,
It's one of the
I'm trying
aspects
to
of
process
it.
that. That's really interesting because, like, as I say, I've been struggling to understand about the money mindset kind of stuff, to why that's happened, and I'm trying to learn a lot more. I'm just thinking about your journey. Like, and you ended up in Norway. Norway is renowned for its high living costs anyway. So like how, as somebody who works online with like people all over the world, how do you cope with that, of the high living costs, along with being able to like be able to facilitate for everybody that's when you're doing over across the globe?
It is quite costly country to live, and some of my friends they asking why do you live there? But I'm not going to live here forever. I
Okay.
just feel I still need to be here for some karmic reasons or whatever. I don't even know, but I just feel I just still need to be here. Now, how do I do it? You know, sometimes I do employ contraction strategy, and very often, and that's you can call it budgeting. I'm probably this is more contracting strategy, as I say. You know, I always do inventory of where do I spend money. You
Okay.
know, it's just at this point in life I have to do so because in Norway the interest rates for loans are immense high. And I don't know why I didn't go that way to investigate, but it's immense and cost of living. Yeah. Um, so I do inventory. Where do I spend money? We sit with my husband and we go, for example, even, you know, small things like Netflix or things like that. We just look at Netflix. Do we watch Netflix? Okay, I watch Netflix for summer shows, so we will leave that. But
Yes.
now, for example, Sky Show, whatever. I finished Star Trek on Sky Show, so there is no need for me to have Sky Show now. So I cancel the small
Perfect.
things, but you know, when you look at things, it could be even 200 euros a month,
Yeah.
or 2,000 kronis in
Yeah.
a month in kronis. So, and then it adds up.
Yeah.
All these expenses adds up. So we need to have an eye on expenses as well in business and in personal. Because personal life, you know, when I'm solopreneur, for example, I don't have employees yet. So it's sort of everything connected. I have different accounts, of course, but everything is connected. So I have to have an eye, and I have a bit of control, not a bit of control, actually, have a control. Where do I spend money? And sometimes I call it leakage because I realized I paid some subscriptions that I never used.
Yeah.
What the actual F? Why would I do that? You know what
No.
I mean? And apparently many of us do that. We have subscriptions, and I have few clients as well, and they say, okay, I remember you said you have the subscription for this whatever platform. I said, how many times did you use it? Oh, God, I even forget. I forgot that I have it. I said, then cancel. If
Yeah.
you didn't use that once a week, or don't use that once a week at least, cancel it. You can live without it. Surely you can live without it. And this is about not being, you know, saving every penny or whatever, but it's about being, again, disciplined with money and honoring money, honoring that energy. Well, if I spend, why then I don't use it so it come back to me in not necessarily in money, but in some value? I shut the door again because I don't use it. This is about the cycle that we need to have an eye on and
When,
control.
when I work with clients, I do the same thing. We go through their expenses account to ensure that everything that's on there is a necessity and that they can't live without, because it's the easiest way to make more profit is to get rid of costs. And it's interesting because they quite often don't associate that they could do that in their personal life as well. Like it's like, yes, they want to be very stringent with their business costs, but actually it's their personal life that's probably kind of could run away with itself much easier because they don't have such a handle on their personal numbers as they do in their business numbers.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting, and everything needs to be checked all the time, doesn't it? We have discussions, Kerdad and I, about whether we use certain things. But yeah, we only have a TV, so I can watch the Formula One, Lolita.
Okay. No, I have TV because I need to watch Star Trek. I just love Star Trek. Honestly, like, okay, this I know it's a bit, but I just love Star Trek from very early age. I was always, you know, looking at the stars and I say one day I will be there, maybe not in this experience, but but never know. And come back to this, for example, my personal life. Now, for example, I'm in the process selling this house where this is my office actually downstairs, but I'm selling it because I looked at this house. Look, I love this house, but it leaks so much money. I cannot. I'm about to lose the will to work and live
Yeah.
because it's just leaking money. So okay. Again, my husband looks at it. Oh my God, that's the step backward. And I said, like, why would you look at this like that? This is the strategy. We are contracting a bit, not forever, for now. And this house is not even already bring that value and quality to our life because we are getting older, and we don't want to. When you have a house, you fix one corner and another corner needs to be fixed. You constantly, my neighbors here, they constantly going around their house on their knees, painting, washing, and I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that. So what's the solution? Sell the house and just simplify and maybe go somewhere to live in a smaller house or even apartment.
Yeah.
So instead of feeling guilty a bit that everybody cutting their grass, I'm reading the book. I just will read the book without any
Just
guilt.
want to read the book. That's brilliant. I think that it's looking after your future, because actually, just because you're going to downsize in property, like the expenses, the money that you'll have to be able to save for your future will be a lot more, because you're not actually constantly like painting the corners and fixing the corners. So yeah, I understand that, and it is a priority. Everyone has different priorities, don't they? Like some people feel that to be financially independent, that they've got this big house and they've paid their mortgage off. Like that's some people's priorities. Other people's priorities is they've got a really small house, but they have a huge retirement fund. Now that's their financial independence. Like people, you and I, we're both nomads, aren't we? Like we don't really like to be too stuck where we are. We're often like on the next adventure. And for us, financial independence is having the ability to be where we want and be who we want at the right time in the thing. So everyone's financial independence means different things to everybody, and doing these, I've actually found that out because people have been telling me, and I'm like, that's really interesting. And I think you're probably the closest to what I feel that I've actually interviewed. Everyone else has got totally different ideas of what financial independence means to them. So just to kind of wrap things up, if there's somebody out there who feels stuck, either feels stuck in the wrong country or they feel stuck in the wrong position, like you said, you've been in employed and you wanted to go self-employed, what kind of mindset do you think they need, or what kind of advice can you give them so that they are prepared to be able to continue that flow of money when they take that big step to either a new country, a new job, a new like structure? What would you say?
Yeah, well, first of all, you mentioned my answers to be prepared.
Okay.
Don't do anything in the heat of a moment, as I say. That is the right expression. But like many of us like, yeah, oh, I'm going now do this, and we burn the bridges. And I know there is an advice: burn the bridges, then you have nowhere to come back. I think that's a bit um, an irresponsible advice, because if we want to change something drastically, we cannot do that straight away,
Okay.
because our body, our mind will go into shock mode. And doing it's like going into this, this ice bath or ice cube or ice buckets or whatever.
When you go to the lake in the middle of the winter when it's got
Yeah,
snow everywhere.
exactly. Like it's very, very strange experience, and it's, of course, it's not a good example, but you need, even if when you go into ice bucket, you need to prepare yourself. You need to rub yourself. You need to proper do the breathing, and then think, I can do it. I can do it. This is the preparation for ice cube or whatever it's called, to ice lake. When we want to change something drastically in our lives, we need to think about the strategy. They have the plan, and I'm not talking, plan everything to every detail, but putting money aside, and call it my financial freedom account or whatever, make it sound appealing to you. Put money aside. So if you just one day definitely will feel that you cannot do this anymore, you cannot live this. And when you take that next step, at least you will have some money. Because listen, we live in a society where money still is, cash is the king.
Yeah.
And we need cash or digital currency, whatever, but we need this thingy called money. And do not do anything. We shouldn't do anything in a heat of a moment. Anything we do needs to come from the place of peace. This is as well as very important. And whatever can create that peace for you, maybe, as I said, we put some money aside. That gives you peace. Or you have some very good support system. You know that your friends or family, parents will support you. That's your peace. But if we do something, oh, I hate my job, I hate my husband, I will leave, will not work. And I don't want to put any negative programming in anyone's head, but it will be very difficult, because when we do things from peaceful place, the outcome is totally different when we do things from, I will prove them that I can do it, I hate them. That's
Place
the
of anger, that's kind of where it is, isn't it? And I think having that buffer, by the way, I think even if you have no plans, to change anything, having that buffer in your life of that little bit of money that's set aside will just give you inner peace every day. That's what I think it
a pillow. It's a pillow, as they say,
pillow.
it's
That's
a
again a
pillow.
good way of putting it.
In case, even if you want to change something and you need a month, sit somewhere, in Tibetan mountains and meditate, or at least that your bills are paid and you can meditate then without distractions. It's like that, so you have this pillar, and we need that pillar until it will change. Maybe it will change. Maybe one day we will not need money. There will be some other sort of exchange, but till then we need to have that pillar, because everything based on
Yeah, definitely.
that.
I can't comprehend. I do understand that, we used to trade in salt and things, and how that's evolved over time to I've just done a post recently about how currency itself, like you talked about, like I went to Sweden in January,
Mhm.
and I still don't know what a Swedish banknote looks like because I never saw any of
Yeah.
their currency itself. And that's kind of strange to feel that our children they don't know the difference between what's 2 pence and a £2 coin, because they physically don't see it. And that kind of worries me for what people see as the value of money, because it's just numbers on a screen, and that's very, very different, isn't it? So when you've just said about changing currency, I'm like, gosh, that actually could happen, because things have changed so much anyway already.
And again, we are not going into conspiracy theories or anything, but I think there is a gender, because if we just see numbers on the screen or in the plastic card, or even now in our on our phone, Apple Pay, and I think, well, we are losing touch with that actual energy of money. Because we don't understand, we cannot feel it. And sometimes what we cannot feel it by touch, it loses value to us.
100% agree. 100%. That's why I do what I do. Need people to
Yeah,
understand.
definitely. Look, with next intake, I definitely need to enroll, but this time I just couldn't, because I was like a lot of happening. So I knew even if I will enroll, I will be even statistics than that they fulfill the statistics. So I didn't, but definitely, Tracy, your financial education is so important. So people need to have that basic understanding. I'm not saying they need to become a financial advisors.
I don't want them to be. I just want them to just
Because yeah,
understand the
that's your job.
foundations, the basics. No accountancy jargon whatsoever in my corner.
Exactly. No, but so definitely, yeah, discipline and understanding value.
Procrastination. Yeah, I think that's really nice. It's a really nice point for us to finish on as well. So thank you so much for coming on. I've really enjoyed our conversation. I got to know you a little bit better as well. So, and I see you regularly, but it's nice to actually talk about personal life. So thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me again. I just really enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching to the end. I really appreciate it, and it shows that you are serious about moving your business forward. I want to share something with you. When I was little, I watched my mum skip meals so my brother and I could eat because she didn't have enough money to feed us all. That pain changed everything. I promised myself I would never need to rely on anyone else financially. I worked relentlessly towards financial independence. Even as a young parent of 19, I still worked. And once I achieved financial independence, I became passionate that everyone deserves the same. But here's what I've discovered. Successful business owners can feel financially trapped just in a different way. And that's why I created the Money Metrics Academy to help you understand your essential business numbers in under an hour a week. No jargon, no overwhelm, just the clarity you need for true financial independence. Why not join the free entry-level membership and see how the community can help you? Let's get unstuck together.